Hello, all you wonderful, 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 and brilliant people. Welcome to another What's in the Vault. Today we will be looking through 90s, 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 90s movies. And I did not pick out anything in particular other than the fact that if it was released in the 90s, I picked it. So you're probably gonna start to see stuff that I have not really seen. I would say about August of last year, I stopped in at a yard sale when they was getting ready to clean up on their final day, and they was trying to get rid of everything. So they literally told me whatever I wanted to just take it, and I took all of their DVD movies that they had laying out. So I got a lot of movies that I actually have not seen or don't know anything about. So that is one of the main reasons why I might not have any info on a couple of these movies, other than the fact of actually hearing the name of the movie or whatever. But yes. So with that, let's go digging through some of the movies of the 90s. We have Julia Roberts and Richard Gere in the movie Runaway Bride. So this is one of them movies I have not seen before. I do know it's a romance type, but it's just one of the movies. Well, actually, now that I think about it, I may have seen it in passing, but I don't really remember any of it. So it's kind of hard to tell. In this delightful, laugh-filled romantic comedy, Roberts plays small-town girl Maggie Carpenter, who marches down the aisle because a series of near misses, not misses, but like the misses as in MRS dot. When she bolts before saying I do. Gear is Ike Graham, a cynical big city newspaper columnist eager to write a tell-all story about Maggie. But the more Ike finds out about skittish Maggie, the more he finds he's fallen in love. Ooh, almost had a tumble. Now, this is something I can speak on. We have the original Airbud. So, in the 90's, there was a lot of animal movies, to say the least. This one does not have like any talking animals, but we do have a dog that plays basketball, as the cover shows. This is really the only movie I've seen in the series. Like, I never seen any of the sequels or the spin-offs with like all the puppies that they called like Air Buddies and stuff like that. Never really seen any of them. This came out just around the right time when I was young enough to be into this kind of movie. So I do have that nostalgia factor for it. Yeah, it's a simple story about a connection between this boy and this dog. So this is something I never noticed. I don't know what Toby is. Maybe in a different country this movie was named differently. I don't really know. He sits, he stays, he shoots, he scores. Alright, next we have kind of more in natural disaster kind of movie, thriller. We have starring Tommy Lee Jones, Volcano, 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 Volcano. I have seen this movie. I just can't really remember anything about it. I have more memories from the movie The Core than I do Volcano. But I only seen this movie like once, so... This came out in 97. I suppose I should read the dates. I think Air Bud came out in 95. And Runaway Bride, I think, was 99. Air Bud might have been 96. I can't really remember. Oh, we have the little scene selection slip. Also, as I mentioned before in a previous video, I have the gain all the way down on my microphone just to try to drown out some of the background noise. But as I said before, if things are too quiet, I will turn the gain back up. I also am trying to do this so on the volume that I'm viewing it through, I don't want it to go up into like the red real loud. I'm trying to keep it within the green to semi-yellow. Whoops. I don't know if I should be proud that I actually own this. It's not a great movie. We have the super Mario Bros. Hopper brothers. It's a blast. No, it's not. Stars Bob Hoskins. Oh gosh, I can't remember how his name is pronounced. Yeah, and Dennis Hopper. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the person that plays Luigi in this. I guess this could kind of be a look back because the new animated Mario film is supposed to release this year, 2023. Which looks like a far better movie than what this turned out to be. Okay, this does not have the date on the back, but I'm pretty sure this came out in 2000, or not, 1995, not 2005. Let's not lose track here. We have a Nicolas Cage movie called Snake Eyes. So, this is another movie I have not seen. I just heard in passing. Though I actually bought this one because I know I kind of want to see it at some point. Saw it in a clearance section at Half Price Books. I don't really know too much about it, if anything, other than the fact that it's a thriller, kind of a detective thriller. This came out in 1999. That was a close one. I thought this was a little bit earlier in the 90s, but I guess I was off. Actually, did not look at the date for this one, so that could have been a mess up on my part if it leaked over into the 2000s. And now we have a movie from 1995, I believe, or maybe it was 97. A Goofy movie. I absolutely, as a children's film, I absolutely love this movie. Just, I like the movie in general. I like all the musical parts in this movie. There's just really not much else to say. It's a good movie. It's a movie starring Goofy and Max. Goof Troop is also a great cartoon. On somewhat of a side note, does anyone remember where Disney had the Disney afternoon lineup for all their cartoons? They would be playing when I got home from school. It's where you would catch the likes of, well, Goof Troop, Darkwing Duck, Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers, and Gargoyles. There was even a cartoon that they made that wasn't quite as popular called the name might be a little bit longer than this, but the name was actually Gummy Bears, I think. Find your code. Earn cool stuff. It's a little bit loud and wobbly on that case for the disc. But yeah, excellent movie. So this, it's kind of sad that I probably haven't actually seen this action movie. True Lies, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger? Schwarzenegger? You know? Yeah, I don't know. Schwarzenegger. Yeah, something like that. So I imagine this is going to be kind of your typical Arnold action movie. This is one of the movies that I got from that yard sale for free. Little interesting fact. This movie was never re-released on Blu-ray yet, to my knowledge. So the DVD was the last release of this movie. Next, we have a Tim Allen movie, The Santa Claus. I think this was a pretty good holiday movie. I remember it being one of the movies I kind of watched multiple times when I was younger. Had it on VHS, of course. Have not owned it on DVD until, well, recently. I don't really think the sequels hold up much compared to this first one. I might have to go back and rewatch them, but I'm pretty sure I will feel the same about them. I don't think I cared for them that much. Maybe it's just because I was older when they released, and this one released right at the right time for me. Disney does not like to show what date the something came out. Okay then. I do know this was the 90's. I want to say it was 96 maybe. I guess the main plot of this is basically just Tim Allen, this kid's dad. He kind of inherits the job of being the next Santa Claus. So throughout the movie, he has to kind of keep it a secret, but in a very kind of magical way, I guess. He basically, because he becomes Santa Claus, he all of a sudden, well, gains the weight, and basically a white beard grows on him at rapid pace. So how do you really explain that to someone if that was happening to you? Like something's not right in the DNA. Alright, we have three, technically four more, but one's a double pack. Which hopefully that double pack doesn't mean the second one came out. I'll get to it. But we have a more early 90s movie with Sandra Bullock, The Net. So this is like one of the more kind of early like hacker type movies like that I can really remember. Sandra Bullock's character, her ID basically gets stolen and, well, let's see what the back says, because I don't remember the movie as well. Okay, so all it really says is that in this hit thriller about a computer expert whose life is erased by a computer conspiracy. This released in 1995. So that was about maybe about 2 years before the internet became like really popular and mainstream, I believe. Which I want to say in 1997 it reached that point. But in 95, I believe it was just kind of starting out, like as far as for the public goes. I'm not really sure on the history of that. As far as the exact dates of when, because I know internet's been around since the 80s, but or maybe before, but it used to be only kind of a military thing, I think. I don't really know the history about the internet. do remember enjoying this movie the couple of times I watched it. I'm not sure if a lot of people really remember this movie, or at least it seems like I don't hear people bringing it up. This had a sequel later down the line, like I think in the 2000s, the Net 2.0. I think it was basically just the same plot, just different characters. I think the first one was better. The sequel might have been more visually pleasing, or maybe more kind of believable, maybe, with the technology that we had around that time. But with this movie, I believe some of the stuff they were kind of maybe guessing how it would work. Alright. I'll end on a double pack, but we have another Tommy Lee Jones movie, also starring Ashley Judd. Double Jeopardy. Murder isn't always a crime. That's the tagline for the movie. So this is a movie I know nothing about outside of the name. This is another movie from that yard sale. $19.99, so I kinda got lucky with this one too, because I thought it released earlier as well. If any of you guys seen these movies that I haven't seen, feel free to share whatever comments you want below. So yeah, we now are gonna end this with the double pack. So I actually had 11 DVDs to show you today. That's just how it ended up being. Normally I try to stick to 10, but I found like 11 DVDs in the bin that I was looking through that were from the 90s, so I just went with 11. Technically 12 movies though, so we got Homeward Bound, the incredible journey, and Homeward Bound 2, Lost in San Francisco. Cisco. It is... Oh, wait. Disney is not telling me when these released. Oh no. So I know the first one was in the 90's. That's the main reason I picked this. I can't speak too surely on the second one. Second one could have been the 2000s. So in that sense, I could have messed up this whole video then, when it comes to the theme. These are some more childhood movies that I actually loved. This was during the 90's Talking Animals phase 2 as well. I should have held out and probably waited till I saw this at Half Price Books or somewhere where I could see the condition of this. I bought this one off of eBay, basically from a seller that didn't have like any kind of specific pictures. They just sold a bunch of movies. So this arrived kinda stinks, but the more important part is that the movies were in good condition. Did not even put the dates on the disc even. I like that they came on their own separate disc too. I'm glad they didn't try to compress both movies onto one disc. Typically a DVD usually only holds somewhere around 3 hours of content, unless they really compress stuff down, and then you might be able to get a little bit more out of it. But the more stuff is compressed down on a disc, the more the quality kind of suffers. So I'm glad they put them all on their own disc. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope you all have a fantastic night, day, morning, sleep, whatever it is for you. Just have a great one. I will see you guys on the next What's in the Vault.